No comment.
Perfect. Okay, the recording has started. So, good morning, everybody. Thank you for attending the first PMI Coffee Morning Session for 2024. Yay! Here's to many more later on this year. Oh, we've just got more people coming on board. Just let them in. Okay,
I'll admit people, Bippin, don't worry.
Thank you, Amy. So just to go over today's agenda again, we've got Andrew Bond from WPA. So thank you for coming on today, Andrew, who's going to be going through a refresher of his proposition and USPs and give us brilliant reasons for why we should all be pushing WPA's products. And then that will be followed by Laurie from Medicash with his wonderful bright pink trousers for us this morning. And he'll be going through the health cash plans and the USPs and make it more into an interactive session. Thank you for the enthusiasm, David. And then right at the end, we've added a couple of new website links onto the Right Mortgage website. So I'm going to go through those today. And then we've finally launched our new health cash plan demands and needs letter as well. And then we'll be going through that. And then I'll go through who we've got attending the next session in February as well, and when that's going to be held. And that's it, really. And any open forum chat that anybody wants to have, more than welcome to kind of welcome that. But I'll pass it on to Andrew for now. So thank you, Andrew. I'll let you take the lead now.
Perfect. Thanks, Bifford. Great to see you all. Hello to those of you who I don't know and haven't spoken to before. Good to see a few familiar faces, and obviously John filling up my screen for half of it, so it's all always good. Appreciate you having me on. It's nice to catch up with you. Obviously, really enjoyed the sales event back in October. Amy, that was awesome. So thanks for that. Yeah, it's just a bit of a refresh in terms of our kind of proposition for me, really. So I'm just going to quickly just share this with you, and I was kind of go through things. Obviously, ask away with any kind of questions, anything that you do want to know kind of about WPA. The aim for me is to hopefully kind of give you a bit of a refresh in terms of our complete health proposition. Obviously, we changed the product in at the end of July, so this is still quite new. So hopefully to kind of get you a bit more to kind of grips with it, and hopefully be able to kind of show you the good kind of place that it will fit really, in terms of kind of where your clients can go. Also kind of touch on kind of things like our kind of claims process a little bit, obviously our kind of key USPs, and yeah, really kind of open up the floor to anything that you guys kind of want to know about WPA. They'll hopefully be able to allow you to recommend and kind of place more business kind of with us moving forward for the right client. Okay, so in terms of the kind of product, so just a real quick kind of high level overview. You have your kind of standard kind of core benefits within the package that you'd normally get from a PMI. You kind of from PMI policy, so hospital treatments, surgery. You get your in-and-day patient care. You get your outpatient MRI, CT, PET scans covered as standard as part of the core package. All of your health and wellbeing stuff, so unlimited remote GP access, health and wellbeing helplines, all pretty standard stuff, really. But where complete health comes into its own, it is very much in the flexibility and the modular approach to the product. So those of you who worked with flexible health in the past will probably recall that it was quite structured with it. We've definitely gone the other way with complete health to allow you to give complete choice and flexibility to the product, make it tailorable to your individual clients' needs and demands, and hopefully kind of build the perfect package so you're paying for the things you do want and they do want to protect, but also you can leave off the things that aren't important, so they're not paying more for things that they don't need or want. Okay, so I'll kind of just touch on a few of like the key of kind of benefit options you're kind of on this one. So I always will start off with cancer care. So cancer care is not included as standard on the product. So it is an additional kind of benefit add-on. The cancer care is comprehensive cancer cover. Okay, so there is no limitations, there's no restrictions, there's no benefit limits at all. The readily available rule that we used to have has now gone if they are joining under the age of 65. So it is a comprehensive kind of cancer package. What they will also benefit from is our kind of personalised support that we provide. So on our kind of cancer care. We have our clinical team who case manage all cancer claims. So the idea with that is that the patient has a one point of contact that they can talk to, they can build a nice rapport with, they can have that extra support, and the case manager will effectively manage everything as best they possibly can. So we'll liaise between us and the hospitals and try to take as much out of the patient's hands as possible. So it's a really strong really strong service, and I think kind of takes that kind of up to that kind of next level kind of with us. We have a range of outpatient options. So one of the big changes we made to Complete Health was how we do the outpatient outpatient options. So everybody will get £250 towards consultations as part of the core package. But then they have the option of enhancing the consultations. We have a separate pot for the diagnostic tests, so your x-rays and blood tests, ultrasounds and those kind of things, and also therapies as well, so things like physio. Okay, and this is where you can build that complete kind of package for what their needs and requirements are, because they are separate benefits. So on the outpatients, you can increase your consultations to say a £500 or £1,000 limit, or go unlimited, of course. The tests as well range from sort of 500 up to unlimited, along with the therapies as well. So you can have any variation, any different combination of those benefits depending on the client's needs and budgets, and it just kind of gives gives your client the option to have a really good range of cover for something like £1,000 consultations, 1,500 tests and 1,500 therapy. That client is going to get £4,000 worth of benefit at a really competitive premium. So it's always worth kind of playing around with the options, because you'll find that there's a really large amount of value in those options, and those kind of benefit limits on the policy. Okay. Mental health is a benefit that we have on our policies for those that kind of do need and want it. There's a range of outpatient options on the mental health, along with kind of in a day patient treatment as well. So there's a wide range of cover for those that kind of do want mental health. For those that don't, they don't need to include it. And this is the beauty of the product, because it does have just that flexibility there, so you can leave off the benefits that are unimportant for you. One of our new benefits is the winter sports package. So we have a benefit that will allow people who do ski and snowboard or go on winter sports holidays and resorts. It's probably David's next trip after South Africa, where you are able to get benefit should anything happen whilst you're over there upon your return to the UK. It was always something that we never covered, so this is a brand new benefit to us, just to kind of enhance the proposition, to make it more accessible for those that do go on winter sports holidays and those kind of things. One of the other real great benefits about the Complete Health optional extras is the cash extras. So the cash extras is always something that we have, that we've kind of given on our previous propositions for things like everyday costs like dental care, optical benefits and health screenings, which are becoming more popular. The people want to kind of know what's kind of going on. With the cash extras benefit, it gives you 2 levels of cover, obviously covering different amounts and depending on what their kind of general kind of costs are, but it's everyday costs that they're able to claim back. The cash extras is a really strong benefit for 2 reasons. Firstly, it's not treated as a claim, so it doesn't impact anything in the renewal or anything like that. It's also not subject to any kind of excess payment or anything like that. So a client can take the level 2 cover on the cash extras, get £400 towards dental care, and get £250 towards optical care, along with £400 towards a health screen and some audiology benefit as well. So it's a really strong benefit, one I would always suggest that you look at, because we all incur these everyday costs, and it's a way that a client can get some everyday use out of the policy. It's really easy to claim for as well, so it's certainly worthwhile, you're kind of considering when you're discussing it with your clients. At WPA, we have a freedom of choice approach. So we don't have guided options. We don't have kind of select consultants you have to see. We do have our premium hospital list, which is a list of hospitals predominantly in the centre of London that people can opt in to opt out of, depending on where they where they live and their requirements for hospital access. So they have the option of reducing that access and reducing their premiums because of it. But if they want complete full access, they can include the premium hospitals and they can go anywhere for treatment. Okay, so we have that freedom of choice for our clients that they can go to whoever they want to go to see and wherever they want to go and have their treatment as well, particularly if they include those hospital lists. Okay, so within Complete Health, there's a range of different options. There's a range of benefits that will give your client and you the ability to build the plan that you want and that you need out of the scheme. Okay. We haven't just kind of stopped in terms of the modular benefit approach. We have changed aspects of how we price to make it a lot more dependent on the client. So we have a kind of a hybrid pricing model to our proposition. So we have a choice of either pooled risk or kind of a no claims discount approach. Okay. WPA as a whole has always previously been priced on a pooled risk basis. You're having that sustainability in pricing, not being influenced by not being impacted by claims, but you're just having a gradual kind of increase kind of each year. So for the clients who are thinking longer term or have maybe had a policy that was claims rated and have been hit with a big increase and don't want that to happen again, the pooled risk is a really great option for those clients. It is a higher price point initially, but over the longer term, it will provide protection, particularly when those clients are claiming. See, in terms of kind of claiming, on average, 1 in 4 need to claim on their PMI. So it's quite a high claiming product. So if you have got a client who has a no claims discount kind of approach and doesn't like those kind of increases, the pooled risk will protect them. Okay. We do have the no claims discount approach now as well. So one of the ideas with Complete Health was to open it to a wider broker market, and the no claims discount is definitely something there that people are taking more and more, I think. So for those that want a lower price point and want to be a bit more in control of what they bring to the table and what they impact their premiums on individually, the no claims discount will do that. It will give them a lower rate, but it will obviously have higher increases when they need to claim. As we'll all know how a no claims discount works, it will work in the same way as the rest of them in that regard. Okay, so you have the choice in terms of how you price the premiums and what is important for you and for your clients, whether you want the longer term protection and have the pooled risk approach, whether increases are going to be lower, particularly at the point of claim, or whether you want to go down the no claims discount route, have a lower price point, but just kind of you're keeping in the back of your mind that when people do need to claim, the increases are going to be higher as they would be anywhere else. All right. We've also kind of changed aspects of kind of the liabilities. So we have a traditional excess rather than forcing people to have a shared responsibility, and they can have zero as well if they wish to. We've removed kind of things like our new joiner promotional discounts and our joining ages to make it more accessible to kind of our members as well. So all in all, the product is a much more enhanced proposition now, and definitely brings us up to the same level as the rest of the market in terms of products, and what we can bring for your clients kind of does take us takes up to that upper echelon. One of the things that does kind of take us up is our WPA Health app. So WPA, we're a not-for-profit organisation. So if you weren't aware, WPA is not-for-profit. Our whole aim is to look after our customers, look after our members as best we possibly can. So we don't have shareholders. We're not interested in profits. Our aim every year is to break even, and our hope is that we make everything as easy and as smooth for our members as we possibly can. Okay, one of the ways that we've done that is through our WPA Health app. The WPA Health app gives kind of 24/7 access to people's kind of to their policy, so they can kind of do everything there. And I've just got a quick video.
The star kits are still on the policy.
Just to kind of go through kind of what the health app does. So it is designed to kind of give people their complete access. I think we as a generation like to do things online as best we possibly can. We don't like to speak to people or pick up the phone. So this allows people to kind of do everything. So all the remote GP services all embedded within this, so they can get their appointments through that. They can do they can submit kind of claims. They can track where their claims are and the benefit limits that they've got remaining. They've got secure messaging and all that kind of stuff, so everything can go through the app. For those that kind of want it, they've got all of their documents there, so they can easily kind of access their documentation on their policy. The WPA Health
and Daniel Starr
is a really great feature. It provides people with complete access. One thing that really separates this from anything else in the market is its claiming capability, so that people are able to claim for their costs for general cash plan claims. So optical, dental things. It's a really easy process online to be able to claim through the app. It's a matter of putting in their details and taking a picture of the receipts and invoices and just submitting them up, and we pay that within a few days. But it's also the PMI claiming capability as well. So it's people being able to go through a claims process and get a claim authorization at the end of it without actually having to speak to anybody. Okay. The claims process is something that we've really focused on over the last few years. Everything that we do is about enhancing our customer journey, trying to make it as easy as we possibly can for that. And we've kind of done that with our claims process. So not only can they do a claim through through the online process, if they do speak to a client, one of our advisors, they will be able to go through that process with them. The aim with our claims process is to get people on the treatment path as quickly as possible. So we will generally allow people to go and have and cover an initial consultation, and then obtain further information after that consultation, just to support the claim should we need to. So the aim is go through, we'll ask a few questions, and then if it's all okay, or if we are a bit unsure, we'll normally allow people to go and have that consultation, get some supporting information, normally a report from the consultant, normally a copy of the referral letter or something like that, and then we'll then look to authorize further treatment from that point. Okay, rather than having to get a load of information and medical records pre kind of getting them on the treatment path, it just helps to allow that process to start, and the client doesn't need to wait for weeks, and they can utilize their private medical insurance. All right, so it's a really good bit of kit. It's a really good tool, and again, it's just been developed to enhance our offering as an insurer, make it easier for our members, and hopefully is a really good selling point in terms of kind of why to look at WPA. In terms of kind of why to kind of look at WPA, I think now we definitely have a product that is market comparable, even market leading in some areas. Everything kind of comes down to the service levels. We have always had a really strong reputation in the industry, and we've been around since 1901. So we've been around for almost 125 years soon. So we've been around for a long time. We've got a really good reputation in the industry. We're highly recommended by medical professionals. Also we're externally recognised through kind of awards. So we've won Best Customer Service Delivery at the 2 out of the last 3 Health and Protection Awards. We've won kind of Moneyfacts. We are the highest rated PMI provider on Trustpilot, sort of 4.6, 4.7. We are rated as excellent on Trustpilot, as the strongest insurer service wise. The biggest thing for us was in the summer when we were given the Which recommended stamp. So we are the only Which recommended PMI provider. So after Which reviewed the market, they would only recommend WPA. For a smaller insurer like us that is not for profit, that doesn't advertise, we don't market, we're very careful with the money that we spend. That recommendation coming from such a trusted source of reviews, I'm sure that we all kind of will look at and check out reviews before we purchase anything, of which generally put their stamp on it. It normally carries a lot of weight, and I think for this it's such an important thing, because it does give the trust that we are a really solid insurer, that we look after our members as best we possibly can, which means we look after your clients as best we possibly can, and that we can provide excellent service to them. So when you are looking at WPA, we've got a really flexible product which is really competitively priced, and provides a lot of choice and a great lot of value, to go with excellent customer service. We answer our phone calls within kind of within 90 seconds on average. We've really kind of invested in our team to make sure our service standards are at such a high level. We don't have many complaints that go to the FOS. We've only had a handful that have ever been upheld as well. So we do things properly, we do things right. And I think that kind of adds a lot of trust to us as an insurer. So hopefully, with the product and with these kind of things, you'll be able to find it easier to kind of recommend us kind of moving forward. But that is pretty much my spiel. And yeah, you're welcome to ask any questions. So yeah, please fire away, Edna.
Thank you, Andrew. I think Matt had a question earlier as well, but I think he's put his hand down. So we've got Edna and Matt with questions, and then you've got quite a few questions in the chat as well, if you don't mind going through those.
I will go into that. So yeah, no, Edna, we'll go with you first.
Morning, Andrew. Thank you for that. I've inherited a couple of customers on one of your very old schemes called Poplar. And I know that they've got cancer on there. Would they have the complete cancer as you've just mentioned on your latest cover?
They would generally. I'll need to check. It's a legacy policy that to be honest with you, I don't look at, because it doesn't get sold anymore. That policy is probably older than I am. So it's
the people
don't laugh, John.
Quite elderly. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. No. So I will need to double check, but potentially, let me double check that. I'll come back to you on that one. But there very well could be the readily available rule that applies to that one.
And also on your new product that you were just mentioning, Complete Cover, was it?
Complete Health,
Complete Health.
Yep.
You said that cancer cover was for people under the age of 65, so new entrants can't have that cover, right?
They can. But so one of the things that we did, so our previous propositions always had a maximum joining age of 65. So 65 and below were fine. 66 and over, they couldn't join. We removed the joining age on Complete Health, so it meant that people could join at any age. However, we have put certain caveats and certain kind of rules in place for those that join 66 and over. Now, one of those rules is the available rule will apply to those clients. So the rule that we've always kind of had with that will apply if they join 66 and over. They can still have cancer cover and will still cover the advanced drugs and targeted therapies if it's not available to them on the NHS. But if these advanced drugs are available on the NHS, then they have to go on the NHS for that treatment.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Cool. No worries. Cool. Matt, did you have a question? And then I'll go through the chat if it's not there.
Cheers, Andrew. Yeah, I did, mate. Just on the pooled risk part, I wanted to check, are you using the new product for pooled risk, as in the people that go onto that, or are you using the old legacy WPA pooled risk for determining increases at renewal?
No, they're completely separate. It's completely separate portfolios. Fine. So naturally, the Complete Health pooled risk will be subsidised by kind of reserves, that kind of stuff initially whilst the pool grows, and it is growing quite nicely at the moment. But they're both completely separate. So only the Complete Health aspect will impact their renewal. Flexible Health and all the other stuff that have no impact on the pooled risk on Complete Health.
Spot on. Thank you, mate.
All right, cool, nice one. Right, so Tom Fish, cancer cover advanced covering target tailored gene stem cell treatment. Yes, we only cover like one stem cell or bone marrow transplant, that kind of stuff on it. But yeah, we cover advanced drugs, targeted therapies. Stem cell is covered under the policy. But as I say, it's only one kind of one complete procedure on the policy. Paul, name for the standard hospital list is pretty much just a standard hospital list, mate. So we have that freedom of choice. So we have our premium hospital list that covers the 18 hospitals that we encompass on that. Any of the other ones are absolutely fine. But yeah, I just literally call them our standard hospital list. There's no particular name for it. Angela, no, we're not on 4C at the moment. We are working on it. We've got some we've got some things that we need to iron out with that, some dev work. But yeah, hopefully we will be on there soon. Although to be fair, Kat, I'm not sure I would say imminently. But the aim is to kind of get there on there. Scorers with members who are part of certain trade bodies. Discounts for self-employed have been removed. Not that you're complaining about a discount, I'd hope not. No, so we did remove our self-employed and professional discounts on Complete Health. However, we have always had what we call our kind of medical affinity discount. So for medical professionals, which is why your psychotherapist received it, we've always applied an additional 10% discount. Now, because of the promotions we used to run, so Partner Goes Free and 25 year one, all that stuff that we don't do anymore, it never impacted until year 3. However, with Complete Health, it applies from year 1. Now, at the moment, you can't quote for that yourself. So you would need to do a quote, give me a shout, and then I can apply it for you, or just apply a 10% discount and kind of do it that way. And I can certainly kind of give you a revised quote for that.
Is it always 10%?
Yes, yeah. It's always 10%. So. Okay. All right. So yeah. So it's only medical professionals. So I say medical consultants, nurses, physios, GPs, that kind of stuff.
Is there a list of the bodies they have to be part of, like the?
So it's normally GMC, HPC, GDC for dentists. There's a couple more. I've got a list. I sent it to somebody at the end of last year.
I'll check it out on a case by case basis if I get one. Yeah.
Yeah, but basically, Kat, if they are a medical professional, then they'll get the additional kind of 10%. Say that's nothing new. We always did it. It just never really impacted until year 3 because of the promotions. So actually now it gets applied from year 1. It's not built within the system to actually apply it. I'm trying to work out a way that we can do it easily. But I'm not technical.
No, that's fair enough. I mean, the client was chuffed as punch, but I had to go back through and change all the compliance documents.
Yeah, no, you got to do that.
That's fine. One of those things.
Just apply it and say, but I can give you an official quote with it if you need it for compliance and stuff. That's not an issue.
Amazing. Yeah, you did that for me. Thank you.
Cool. Nah, good stuff.
Yeah. Andrew, if we could get a list, I'd really appreciate that.
Yep, no, we'll do. There won't be a problem. James, age limit for joining. So like I said, we've removed the joining age, but if they join 66 and over, they have to join FMU. So there's no Mori, there's no switch. It's FMU only. They have to take a minimum excess of £500, and they have the available rule for the advanced cancer drugs and targeted therapies. And we've been on rapid quote for about 2 months, mate. And we should be coming up really competitive on that. So yeah, check it out. Took a bit of work, took a bit of time, some phone calls with Steve Warden, but finally got there. And we have been on there for a while now. So yeah, definitely be able to see it there. You were told Feb. I'm not aware of it for February, so there we go. We'll see. Paul, can members on flexible health transfer onto the product if they want to opt for the NCD approach, for example? They can transfer onto it. Yeah, it's subject to underwriting, mate. So they'd have to go through medical underwriting, so switch underwriting or kind of fresh FMU Mori if they want to. But yeah, they can then go on to the NCD should they wish to do so. Yes, Alan, it will still continue to apply into retirement, so they still get the discount. That is just something that we apply for there now. How do clients know which hospitals are and aren't available with the standard hospital kind of choice? So Paul, with in our obviously policy brochures and online, we have our we have our just got John's stomach in my in my face. There we go. With the Prim Hospital list, it lists those hospitals. Effectively, if they are not on that list, they are a standard hospital and okay to use. Okay, we do have a really good search function on our website, so they can go and search for hospitals in their area, and it will flag if they are a premium hospital or not. But ultimately, because of the approach that we take for having that freedom of choice, only those hospitals that are on the premium hospital list are listed, because they're the only ones that we're going to exclude if they haven't got them on cover. Anywhere else is absolutely fine to use. All right. Cool. Yeah, I don't know.
I was like, is that you done, or have you got something else to say?
No. So I was reading Kat's last.
I'm pulling his leg. Yeah, no, that was from the horse's mouth, not you. The Paul.
Yeah.
I took it with a pinch of salt. I think we all did.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm honest, I have had people say to me like, "Oh yeah, we know you're going back on." Like I'm talking like a year ago, before we weren't even going to look at doing it for flexible health. It was never going to go on for flexi, but they were still pushing it a little bit, like, "Oh yeah, we're going to get them on," and stuff. So we're certainly keen to do it. Obviously we're on Rapid Quote now, so at least that is an avenue for those who've got access to Rapid Quote. We will get on 4C. I'm sure of that. It's
is that related to 4C?
Say again?
That's 4C, not Rapid Quote.
Yeah, 4C
no,
and Rapid
we were told by Paul Mills in the November coffee morning that it'll be around November 2024. I've just copied and pasted that from my notes. But to be fair, the WPA quote portal, particularly now it's been upgraded, is really good. So it's easy to use. So I don't have any issue hopping over. The only people who are missing out are 4C because they're not making any money out of it. So
they're not. No, I say, I mean, it's we redid a whole quote and buy process as part of the development for Complete Health. That was 3-4 years in the making for that. We try to make the quote and buy process easy and smooth, and hopefully those of you who have quoted and placed kind of placed a business kind of with it on it, hopefully you kind of found that, and hopefully you can vouch for the simplicity on it. Naturally, I want to make it as easy as possible for you. So for those of you who do use 4C, I want us to be on there so that you can see it will come up more, you'll see us more, and see a lot more. Hopefully you'll see a lot more opportunities from it as well. So we will get there. I'm sure it's just it's just kind of getting to that stage. Any other questions at all for me? Anything else you would like to know about WPA? Anything, comments?
Any positive comments?
I've personally placed. I've personally been placing. I've been quoting a lot of WPA lately. It was almost a little bit out of sight, out of mind. So it would help for it to be on 4C.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and also I think I was a little bit put off by the old dated. Everything was very dated. Nothing was very modern, but that's all changed now. And I've got a client who's gone ahead with the Complete Health. She's really happy. I've also got clients who've gone ahead with the corporate version. I can't remember what you call it. I know it's not the same as Complete Health. Yeah. And I've also got people on the cash plan as well. So I'm waving the WPA flag at the moment, whereas before I was shying away from WPA. I didn't understand it. The co-payments were too confusing. The products didn't compare to others. But now, the only thing I struggle with on Complete Health, and this is not just with WPA, with if you're looking at somebody who perhaps has got Vitality or AXA and they've got a combination of outpatient with full diagnostics, it's difficult to know what to quote because you can obviously, you have a separate diagnostic pot to the outpatient. Is that right, or have I got confused there?
Yeah, so with Complete Health, we broke down consultations, tests and therapies into separate pots.
Yeah.
So what you can do is, and obviously there's a couple of other insurers that do similar, where you can have a limited consultation benefit. So like AXA will have 3 standard outpatients, 3 consultations, unlimited tests.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're trying to match that, I would probably go with
But you don't offer the unlimited. That's the problem I'm finding. The most you do is 1,000. Oh, do you?
Yeah, no.
I think I'm getting confused with the company offering then.
The company should still offer. We do offer unlimited cover for those options anyway. So on Complete Health, you could go. You've got unlimited options under both tests, consultations, and therapies. But what you could do is you could go £1,000 consultations, unlimited tests, unlimited therapies or whatever variation you want.
I think
So
where I'm getting confused is if it's someone like the Vitality 750 with full outpatient, full diagnostics, you either have to do 1,000 and full,
okay,
or
yeah.
500 and full, which is fine. Other people are the same. It's not just you. Bupa's the
Yeah.
same. But
Yeah, I
Bupa
mean,
don't offer it at all. So
yeah, no, see, and you don't have to. I mean, you could, you know, if they don't care about consultations, they can just have the 250 call, and they still have full tests if they want tests. That's, you know, it's entirely up to them. So there's a lot of kind of variety kind of with that. Say our corporate proposition, whilst it's not my bag, you know, it's obviously Irina, but you know, there's a lot of flexibility kind of surrounding that as well. And you know, we want to make a policy that's just good for you to sell.
Yeah.
You know, we want to make it
I love it.
competitive. Yeah, I'm really pleased for that, and I really like your comment, John, about us being forward thinking. You know, we've definitely tried to. You know, it took a while, but we finally kind of moved forward into the area that we need to be. And you know, I'm pretty positive that Complete Health is, you know, is a much better enhanced proposition than the old ones. That will just give you all hopefully a lot more opportunity to kind of look at us.
Yeah, and to have the 250 covered as in a core offering, I think is great.
Yeah.
But for anyone who's quoting it, don't get confused like me. If you upgrade the outpatient, that doesn't add to the 250. That's instead of the 250. Is that right?
Yep. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
spot on with that one.
confused.
So
Yeah,
it'll go
that confused
250,
me.
500 or 1,000 or unlimited
Yeah,
if they
it won't
want to
mean you can add 250 to the existing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. I love it. Thank
Cool.
you.
Awesome. No, I appreciate it. It's great to hear, Canada. It's been yeah, great you've been looking at it so much. So awesome. Good stuff. Anything else from anybody else for me?
Any other questions, anyone? No? Brilliant. Thank you,
So,
Andrew.
all
Thank
happy.
you for that. That was
Perfect.
brilliant. Yeah.
Thanks very much
Everybody had a
for
lot of questions on that. You're more than welcome to stay on. And
okay,
we've got Laurie next. Laurie, are you there?
Here, Bippin. However,
Perfect.
nice to see everyone again. Morning, and welcome to 2024. I just thought initially I'd just give a little bit of an overview because obviously I've been at Medicash now for a year. So I thought I'd give you a bit of the lie of the land in the cash plan market because I know as an overall, you guys mainly concentrate on PMI. Some of you write a bit of cash plan, but I know that there's quite a few of you that haven't really delved into the area before. But, you know, obviously I've moved 3 years at Bupa and then came over here and I've thoroughly enjoyed this year. So I was an expansion hire, which is always a positive sign. Basically, the company just couldn't handle the amount of quotes and business that they were receiving. So they hired 2 new BDMs, obviously myself being one of them. We had no real previous experience, you know, with yourselves, with TRM. So obviously the first thing I did when I came along was look at brokers that I'd worked with before and noticed that we hadn't really had much of a relationship with Right Mortgage before. So obviously we set everybody up. I've contacted most of you. I can see most of the names I recognize. So hopefully I've touched base with most of you. If I haven't and you are interested in, you know, real finer detail, do let me know and I'll happily, you know, come along. So once again, like I said, the reason I'm an expansion hire because the company has doubled in size post-COVID. So we've been around for 150 years plus. And yet, you know, 150 years in existence, we coast along to about 250,000 members. And then boom, post 2020, as I said, we've doubled in size in the last 3 years. So we're now just under 580,000 members, which is, you know, quite a big jump in size. And the interesting thing I found last year, coming from PMI, where the vast majority of queries I got from brokers was existing business looking at renewals. Well, about 80, maybe even upwards of 85% of my pipeline is virgin business. So even the stuff I get from yourselves, you know, it tends to be virgin, which tells me that there is a lot of interest in there, out there, for cash plans in general. I think because post-COVID, firms are looking at benefits in a way that they never have before. I think in the past, they kind of like said, yeah, well, we've got some benefits there. They didn't really care if people used them or not. They just kind of sat there. They probably never even reviewed them. They just maybe put a PMI, put a death in service in place and thought, you know what, that's enough. I don't think that cuts the mustard anymore. So what we're finding is firms that have never had any health benefits at all are now going, oh, we better have something because it's a buyer's market at the moment when it comes to employees. So you know, if you've only got to look at your LinkedIn. I'm looking at my LinkedIn every day. I just more check it now to see where people have gone, because there's so much movement going on, people leaving employers everywhere. And that's really because, you know, it seems to be at the moment the big move post-COVID. And so that means that firms have really got to, A, have good benefits package to retain staff, but then crucially, I think they've got to have a good benefits package to actually attract staff. You know, so if I've got a choice of two companies, roughly the same wage, one's going to give me good health benefits, the other has nothing, I know which one I might choose. Then again, I've personally hammered the Bupa and Vitality scheme before that with my various conditions over the years. But, you know, I'm sure I'm not the only one. Health benefits actually matter. So as I said, just as news for yourself, 80% of my pipeline is virgin. So there's a lot of interest out there. And there's no rhyme or reason behind that. There are firms from 5 right through to the hundreds. And what I'm also seeing is firms, I have to tick a box when I do quotes as to what industry they're in. Now, I'm ticking boxes that I've never ticked before working in PMI. So it's things like construction, manufacturing, hospitality. Even I just did a quote this morning, was 330 for the managers of a large bar chain, and they're going to maybe put in a voluntary scheme for all the bar staff as such. But you know, that's just things I'd never done before in PMI. That we just wouldn't have thought of hospitality. Maybe the head office management team, but now people are looking outside of that. And once again, there's another opportunity for you as well with your PMI clients, is go back, have a look at their actual makeup. If you've got a scheme of say 10, dig a little deeper, find out actually how many staff they have, because I'm doing a lot of quotes where there's say 10 people on the PMI, they want to give something to everybody else, but they don't want to spend a lot of money. Well, you can give level 1 benefits with us for £5 a month, for example, as little as that. So I'm getting a lot of quotes where they're doing that. And of course, you also have the option of covering a PMI excess as well. That's one of the bolt-ons for us. We have 2 bolt-ons, and they're both good business opportunities for you. So the first one, as I said, is PMI excess. We can either cover a £100 excess, a £200 excess, or a £250. For example, a £100 excess will cost you £1.08 a month to insure against. So you're looking at what, about £13 a year. So if you claimed your £100 excess, it's covered. It only costs you £13 to do that. So we do see that option used quite a lot. You know, we were the first in the market to bring that out. So that's kind of just a few examples of what I've seen, you know, on the sales front since I joined Medicash. One of the things I've also noticed, and I can't speak for the market, but we can't be the only ones. Our claims experience last year is through the roof. So we're talking about 6 points higher than what we budgeted for on our whole book. So that is putting some pressure on prices across the, it's got to be the cash plan market. Now, being honest, we were the first ones to move. So we increased our prices as of 1st of October last year. It was only a small increase, about 15%. So our level 1, for example, went from £4.33 up to a £5. Still affordable, but we had to put that little bit in there because of usage, just being honest. And another thing that we noticed as well, and I'm sure the PMI providers will also concur with this, the usage of our digital GP has skyrocketed as well. So we had that in place, you know, since COVID. And of course, before COVID, it was used a little bit, not a lot. COVID, obviously, the usage of it exploded, and it hasn't died down. If anything, it's only increased since then. So that has obviously put some pressure on our loss ratios as well with the increased usage of that. And that's fine. It's there for clients to use. But it just means, and putting it in perspective, if you're on a level 1 company paid cover with us, you only have to have 1 GP appointment, and that effectively takes our margin out for the year. So and if they claim on top of that, then we're effectively making a loss on that particular client that year. Just to let you know, obviously, what it costs to use those digital GP services. So that's just a couple of things I've noticed, you know, from the past year, my first year at Medicash. But certainly the main thing to take from it is that there is business opportunities out there, and knock on doors that maybe in the past you'd go, no, they're not going to be interested in health. Well, maybe now they are. So they're the ones to certainly look at. And the other one, of course, is certainly to revisit your PMI clients, your group PMI clients, and just check what their total employee base is, because you might have some opportunities there on top to look at a cash plan itself. So I'm just going to run through what it is that we do separately. The main thing, if I'm honest about Medicash, is our tech side and our ease of use. That's the main thing that we're known for. You know, we're leaders in the market as well in most things. We were the first to bring out an app. We were the first to have PMI excess cover. You know, everything. We're first to have skin vision. When we're noticing that a lot of the market now follows us in what we do. You know, there's another one of our competitors that's just added skin vision to their policy. So what we find is a lot of the market just catches up to us, but no one actually goes past us, particularly in the area of tech and ease of use as such, because our app's been running for 10 years now. So we find our members and their claims experience just runs very straightforward. Now, much like WPA, we're a not-for-profit organisation. Also, any excess profits we do make goes back into the business, tries to keep the premiums obviously sustainable in the long run. And of course, we do give a lot away to charities across the UK as well. But the main thing really, just to reiterate, is our benefit table. So our Proactive is our main product. We have a product called Active that can service your clients that are members 3 to 9. So 3 is our minimum number, but we can service anyone, as I said, 3 till 9. And basically what you'll find is it's a similar benefit table. It's just that the benefits are slightly lower and the premiums are slightly higher. Obviously, being a smaller group, we've got to put that protection in there for us against the claims fund. Those tables also works for any voluntary schemes that you may have. Voluntary really is only viable, you know, if I'd be thinking 250 employees plus, because the average take up is only about 10%. It's not a huge take up generally on voluntary schemes. So do stick to the company paid where you can. Now, most of my quotes that I did last year were straightforward level 1 cover, company paid. As I said, we've got 2 sets of pricing. So there's 10 to 24 lives on our Proactive, and then 25 plus. So the 25 plus is where I mentioned the £5. So for £5 a month, you can get level 1 cover, company paid, and then it's up to the actual members themselves to voluntarily upgrade, or at a partner, they can do so at their own cost. Now that can be done via payroll deduction if the company is happy to do that. Alternatively, they can do that setting up a direct debit directly with us, which makes it easier, you know, for everyone to use. And what you find when I look at this benefit table compared to others is obviously we've got the key ones there. There's and also in the key areas of optical and dental, we're slightly higher than what the market provides. So they're the main two. When I look at any claims report, I would say 50% of the claims is going to be in the areas of optical and dental. And generally, complementary therapies is third or second. It's not, dental is always number 1. And then it's normally optical and complementary therapies that fights for second place. And then third. And then fourth is normally the virtual GP usage. And then you've got obviously the other areas. So we've got 4 levels of cover. As I said, most of the time we just quote level 1. That's what most clients go for. If you want to quote though, I do your quotes for you. I'm more than happy if you send me an email that says, Laurie, can you please quote all 4 levels just to give the client an idea? More than happy to do that. Otherwise, if you know that they're only going to be, you know, a budget level, I can just quote level 1, maybe level 2 for you if they're in London or the Southeast, for example. Totally up to yourselves. I can do those quotes for you, no problem. And of course, if you like at another time, if you want me to go through these in specific detail, I can certainly do that, you know, the ins and outs of what these things cover. But as a general rule, the market is pretty similar, optical, dental being the main ones, some dental accident and injury, just for your own knowledge, and most of the providers are the same. That's deemed as an external blow to the mouth. So, you know, if you upset a fellow broker and maybe you get an accidental elbow to the chops, that would be deemed as such. Or potentially, you know, you fall over. We have had claims for people that try and claim for something like chipping a tooth on a boiled sweet, breaking a retainer, for example. We do find that some clients maybe exhaust their dental pot and then try and claim regular dentistry through this. You know, maybe it's a a tooth extraction, and they'll try and claim it as an accident. You know, you got to be careful with this one. This is the only area of the claims journey which is slightly different, which kind of protects us in this as well. All claims, you've got 6 months to get your claim in. With dental and accident, the only slight alteration is you've got to have seen the emergency dentist within 5 days of the accident occurring, and that just shows that it was a genuine accident as such. Other than that, as I said, it's pretty straightforward. So dental is pretty much anything in a dentist chair other than teeth whitening. Optical, as I said, once again, glasses, contact lenses, contact lens clubs, anything with a prescription, as well as an eye test. Consultations, tests and scans. You can self-refer for a consultation, that's fine. You just have to ensure that the person is registered with the GMC, so the General Medical Council. With tests and scans, you need to have been referred by either a GP or a medical professional, the consultant themselves. Those of you who would be familiar with Best Doctors through various protection providers, we include that with anything level 2 and above. And then you've got your tooth therapy, so your complementary therapies and your alternative therapies, 2 separate pots there, as well as chiropody, getting your feet looked after. I had that for the first time this year. It was quite an interesting experience, particularly when they get the little sander on the back of your heel and skin flying everywhere. Maybe I wore football boots that were too small for too long, so they had some cleaning up to do. But it was an interesting experience nonetheless. Anyone with a cash plan, look, it's there to use it. One of our other competitors has just relaunched their product, and yet they don't have prescriptions. And this is quite a pot that's used quite a lot. Prescriptions, inoculations, flu jabs. Another business opportunity for you. There are some firms out there that do buy flu jab vouchers, for example, or pay for flu jabs. Well, if you put this in place, they could no longer have to do that, because you could just say, well, you could claim that through your Medicash. Just looking at other ideas. Same with the optical. It's a way potentially of, rather than a firm paying separately for their VDU or DSE, eye tests, if they put this in place, they could merely say to the clients, we've made this available to you, we've made this available to you through the cash plan. It's just another way of thinking about it when you're talking to your clients. And of course, lastly, you've got health screening in there as well. So that's your benefit table that we cover. Children, for us, you're entitled to up to 4 children up to the age of 24, as long as they're in full-time education. And they get half the benefit pot each. So it's not a combined pot. So I've got 3 kids, one of my own and 2 of my partners, but each of them would receive, for example, £35 of optical a year. Or if I chose to go private for the dentistry, they'd get £35 each child for that as well. And of course, the children are free of charge, which is also handy. A nice thing about cash plan, and that's consistent in the market, of course, that we don't charge for children. It's built into the premium as such. And then, of course, you've got an array of additional benefits. Now, I don't need to go into virtual GPs. You all know how that's used. We use Health Hero for ours, if you wanted to know who our provider was. And of course, they can do anything that any of the others can do, or an NHS GP for that matter. For those that aren't aware of Skin Vision is an app within our app. So everything is available on the Medicash app. You're not having to go to separate places. You access everything in the one place. So Skin Vision is where you take pictures of the moles on your skin, for example, and it will analyze it for you and let you know if there's any issue or not. It's a quick and easy service to use. Very popular usage. You can use it as much as you like. Like I said, you can buy this off the high street, 45 quid a year. But we give this to our members, unlimited usage, free of charge, and we were the first to do so in the market. We've also got access to various articles, blogs, things that they can use on various areas of health through the Improve Yourself section of our app, both physical and mental health. Now, the only 2 bolt-ons that you can add to our cash plan, as I've already mentioned, is the PMI excess, if you wanted to cover that. You also have the ability to only cover those members that are on the PMI scheme, for example. So if you've got, say, 100 staff, 20 are on the PMI, then we would only charge you the PMI excess for those 20 only, just so that you know. Just obviously let me know on the quote and I can do that for you. You've also got the ability there to add the EAP to any of our schemes. You're looking at 65p a member per month. and that's on anything on the proactive. So you're looking at 10 plus employees where you can add that, and that would get you up to 8 structured counselling sessions per year for the members. We have a digital physio available called Phio. So I've dislocated all this. I played football since I was 5 years old, never done a finger. I turned what? I'm about to turn 48. I did that one in August last year, and I did that one in October. So it's like, I can't believe it. And dislocating fingers hurts like hell, I'll tell you what. But when I came home and got it, after I got it sorted, I went on Phio. You answer a whole load of questions. It's an AI-based system. It gave me some exercises. This one I've got back to normal. It's just a little wonky, but you know, it's just a little wonky. And this one I've just got to work on a little bit harder. But it did give me some good exercises to do to get it back to normal. And once again, that's free and available for usage for any of our members. And then the extras is the nicety. So we have Medicash extras. We've teamed up with a company called Incorpore. You may know them as Perks at Work. So we use a version of their platform. So all of our members can use this. It's got a vast array of restaurants, high street shops, all the supermarkets are on there. So Tesco's, Sainsbury's, Waitrose, and all the cinema chains are on there as well. So if I go to my Cineworld in Crawley, if I want to go and see, well, Oppenheimer's just come out again. If I wanted to go and see it again before the Oscar season fully kicks into gear, I get about 20% off on the ticket, as well as 20% off on the popcorn and Coke deal. I don't have to do anything to get it. I simply log onto the website, I get a code, I then go to Cineworld and I use the code to get 20% off. Very straightforward. And on the supermarkets, you're looking at 4% off. So you can get a £100 Tesco voucher for 96. That doesn't sound a lot, but if you do all your shopping at Tesco's, that's going to make a difference over the course of a year. So that's available, as I said, to all members. You don't have to do anything other than provide an email address. It's the only requirement to get it. That also gives you access to the My Gym Discounts platform, and that would give you discounts at over 3,000 gyms across the UK as well. And there's independent ones as well as the big chains on there as well. So Pure Gym, Virgin, you know, all the big ones you'd expect. And the discounts vary depending on what the gym is. You can just go on there and type in your postcode, and it'll come up with all the gyms in your area, and you can have a look at your own convenience. And as I mentioned, the main thing really is our ease of use. So for you as a broker, you get access to your own portal. So it'll have all your clients on there, and you can process your leavers and joiners very easy. So you do it in real time, instantly. Your clients can also do that if you prefer. You can access your invoices, your P11Ds when they're available shortly. Everything you'd want to do as a broker is there on the portal. You can also download claims reports now too. That just became available in December. Your clients can't do it on their end, but we have made it available for brokers initially to download their own claims reports, which, you know, can be useful, particularly if you have had an increase at renewal. Now, last year's claims experience, I haven't got the details yet. In 2022, it was only about 30% of our book that had an increase. So 70% had a held rate, which is great. You know, particularly coming from a PMI world where 100% get an increase, even base increase is still an increase. Whereas in cash plan, you know, we have held rate quite a lot. And it's only really those firms that heavily use it that get an increase. It'll be interesting to see what last year's figure was, because as I said, our claims experience is that we were running 6 points higher than we expected to. So I would imagine that 30% getting an increase last year will be a higher figure. But obviously, if we can back that up with claims reports to show you, you know, that it's being used, this is why there's been an increase, you know, that helps you with your conversations with your clients. From a member perspective, everything is done via the Medicash app. So they can access all the benefits that they've got, like as you can see, the virtual GP, the best doctors for those that have it, skin vision, etc. Adding children is straightforward. You don't need to do it on the application form. The members do this themselves. They simply go on children here, and all they need to do is put in their children's name and date of birth, and that they're instantly covered from that moment. So that's straightforward for them to do. And of course, the same as all cash plan providers, you simply go and have your treatment, you get your receipt, submit your claim via the app. You have to provide your bank details on the first claim. After that, it's safely secured for you. So you don't have to do it on subsequent claims. You can do a claim in like 15 seconds. I did a claim. I just bought an allergy test just before Christmas because the kids have been bugging me to get a cat for years. And I've been trying to convince them that I'm allergic. So I got the test approved once and for all. I'm gutted because I did the test and it's come back that I'm not allergic. I haven't told them yet, so no one tell anything. My missus is laughing. She can't stop laughing about it because she threatens to tell them, but we'll see how long she can keep that for. But that came through on the alternative therapies pot, for example. And I did that claim within probably about 15 seconds. And it was paid back into my account within 2 days. Our standard turnaround is 5 days. But in that circumstance, as I said, maybe we had a quiet week. Well, it was around Christmas, I guess. 2 days and it was back into my account. And then we make life easy. We're very transparent for our clients, our members. So we don't hide anything really from our members. We've got the benefit table there if they want it. If they want to check what they're entitled to every year. If you want to check, what's my optical benefit? Go on your benefit table, it'll tell you. And then they might, oh, well, how much have I spent on optical this year? I can't remember if I bought contact lenses this year or not. Well, they can go down to the usage part of the app. And as you can see in this middle section here, under usage, it will tell them exactly what they've spent this year. So then they know at any point what their benefit is and how much they've got left. So that's a real benefit for members. As I said, we don't hide anything. An interesting development has happened in the cash plan market this last year. We're finding quite a few providers are starting to hide information, and particularly around claims. So some of your clients that might be with other providers, if you go to move it, or not even move it, if you go to market review it at renewal, they're not providing claims info. Now, that could be an issue in the new customer duty area. We'll wait and see what happens there. But, I don't think that's very transparent, in my opinion, because it means that you're stuck with that particular insurer. Because unfortunately, someone like us, if you have a client and you're looking to review it, I need their claims data in order to do that, in order for our underwriting to actually develop terms for you. And if we don't have that claims data, then it's not something we're able to do. So, we are finding that has starting to happen a bit in the market last year, just something to keep an eye on. But as far as members, as I said, we tell them their benefit table, we tell them how much they're entitled to, how much they've spent. And then claims is very straightforward. So you click on make a claim. When I did the allergy test, for example, I click on alternative therapies. I clicked on the test, how much it was, £40, the date, took a picture of the receipt, submit, job done, paid back to me in 2 days. Very straightforward for members to use. So hopefully that gives you just a little overview of us, Medicash, as a provider, bit of information about the cash plan market in general, some trends from last year. Now to see if there's any questions from the floor.
Laurie, there's a few questions in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah, if you can just go through those.
Yeah, I'll just open it up.
Yeah.
I'll go to the top. Okay, so Catherine asked, what info do you need if there's currently insured? Is that for us or was that for WPA?
It's for yourself.
That's for us. Oh, yeah, it's because it says we're Simply Health. Fair enough. Yeah, good point. So all I need is the current premium and the renewal, and a copy of the claims report.
Okay, I can't get a claims report. They want it when they quote, but they won't give it. They all want it, but they won't give it. But I have got a claims loss ratio. Is that not going to be enough?
No, we need the full claims, I'm afraid. What we have found, I can't guarantee this, but when complaints get made and people start jumping up and down, magically a claims report appears.
I have tried to push, but it's funny because they won't give it to me. But if I wanted to quote from going from Medicash to Simply Health, they want the report.
I know,
but they won't.
We've started to see that as a trend in the market. There's a couple of providers now. One says under 25 lives, they won't produce it. And then they're using data protection. Like, it doesn't say, they're not individualized. Even if it says one person, we don't need, it doesn't matter that we know if one person went to the dentist. Is
I
that
do
really?
understand maybe for the really small groups, but this is a group of 33.
Yeah, it
I just
doesn't.
don't understand.
No, neither do I.
But if the shoe was on the other foot, they want the report. Don't get
It's
it.
just one of those things, you know, all we can really is it's just be aware of those providers now, because if you put a piece of business with them, it might be stuck with them forever.
I wish I'd known before I set it up, because now I can't move them away.
Well, that's where I mentioned consumer duty, because I think that fails consumer duty, because you're trapping a client, you know, and they're not enabling the broker to even investigate if there's might be something better for them. But, you know, we have to see what happens there. But that's what we need anyway, in regards to any switch business.
Okay.
Yeah, so face-to-face counselling is the EAP bolt-on, 65p per month per member, and of course that's only for the staff only, but you can't add partners to the EAP.
I think Paul's asked a question about JD gyms. Are they covered?
I don't know is the honest answer, Paul.
Okay.
It's got 3,000 gyms. A lot of the big names are on there. I'd have to go on and have a look at your postcode. Is there one in your postcode?
Sorry, Laurie, I was trying to turn my mute off and I couldn't find it. I'll drop it over to you, mate, or I can do a search my end and have a look. I've got a postcode, yeah.
Because I'll just have a look to see if that local one's on there.
Yeah, sure.
Perfect.
There's no moratorium on any of the benefits. Alan asked, is there a moratorium? No, you can claim on everything straight away. And it's the same as, you know, if you needed dental work, that's fine. If you're covered from the day, you know, you start on the scheme. Oh, well, thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. Nice feedback. Always appreciated. 100% reimbursements, correct? So Catherine asked again, is it 100% reimbursement, and are there any restrictions on prescriptions for mental health drugs? It's any prescriptions, even people that are in prescription like clubs, if you want to call it that, that's covered as well. The only thing that isn't covered as far as clubs go is dental clubs. So if you're a DEM plan member, because you're effectively buying insurance rather than a product. So we cover things where you're actually getting something. So a prescription club, you're actually receiving the prescription, or a contact lens club, you're actually receiving the contacts. In a dental club, you're just buying an insurance policy. We don't cover those. Okay, it actually has to be treatment itself. Sometimes the way around it, sometimes dentists that have those clubs will write separate receipts for those members to say this person had a checkup, for example, and this was the cost. You know, that's a way around it potentially. Glasses, Alan asked, do you need a change of prescription to claim for replacing glasses? No, as long as there's a prescription, that's all that matters. We won't cover plano glasses. Plano means no prescription, which is why we won't cover sunglasses. We'll cover prescription sunglasses, but not just regular ones. There has to be a prescription in there.
Laurie, I had a question. I think we spoke about this last year as well. If we have advisors who come across large corporate clients and they're interested in advising on a health cash plan policy to them, what support can you give to them to kind of, if it's like the first one that they're doing and they need assistance?
That's fine. I will happily join any meeting online. More than happy to, no problem.
Okay. Yeah.
We have material that I can help with launch, so we can produce a bespoke video for you. So like I did one yesterday for a large group, about 300 staff. So we produced a bespoke video for them. It had their logo, goes for about 10 minutes, gives them an overview. Very similar to what I've just gone through, to be honest with you. You know, how to log on, the additional benefits, etc. We can provide those. I'll happily do a webinar for any group as well if need be. You know, that's, to be honest, I'd have run through that prescription with a group. I just do it in a, you know, more detailed as such. Normally about half an hour is the norm when I do it for a group. Happily do those. If anyone's got any large groups as well, now I mentioned the pricing on our proactive is for 10 to 24 and then 25 plus. We also have a third category. If your group is more than 10 grand in premium, then we can bespoke it. So that means you can do whatever you want with it. So, you know, I'm doing one for a broker where they've already got a dental plan, for example. So we took dental out and we increased the therapies and the optical, just as an example, because the premium was about 25 grand. So taking dental out actually reduced it a lot because, as I mentioned, that's the #1 claim area. So, you know, once it gets over 10 grand premium, you can do with the plan whatever you like. You can come to me with a budget and say, they want to spend 15 grand, design me a product. We can do that. Or we can do the other way. And as I said, alter the benefits in some way and create it exactly how you want it and price it up. So you do have some flex there on your large clients. As I said, 10 grand premium or above, you can do whatever you like.
Perfect. Okay. Amy, I think Andrew's got a question for you in the chat.
Oh, for me? How
Yeah.
exciting.
I'll let Karen move on.
Oh, I think that's for you, but no. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'll get on it.
Perfect. Okay. And then
whatever the link.
yeah, and then Laurie, I think Michael's got another question for you as well.
Yeah, it's more a comment, and I appreciate it again, Mike, because I know we did some quotes together last year. Michael's just said what the employers want is an admin hassle-free plan where the employees can do everything themselves. And in Michael's opinion, he thinks Medicash have nailed this, especially if employee wants to pay for a higher level themselves. That's right, because they can do that directly with us. The employer doesn't have to get involved at all. And I'd like to think that the admin does speak for itself. You know, I went to 8 award ceremonies last year. We won best cash plan provider at all 8 of them. So, you know, we're certainly ahead of the curve when it comes to service and the usability of the product. And, you know, those awards certainly speaks for that.
Yeah. There you go. You've set Catherine on a mission now to get hold of
well,
the
thing what might happen though, Catherine, is you might get it. And if they are heavily using it, you might find that cash plan providers, even us, might go, well, actually, we'll price it too high. But
yeah, it's 110% claims loss ratio, so you might not want it anyway. But at least there's an option for me to go out to market. At the moment, I've gone out to market and I can't get any quotes or any declines or anything.
Yeah, is it other providers as well saying they're declining the quote as well?
So Westfield have declined on the basis of the loss ratio. Others have declined on the basis that I can't get a report.
Yeah, I was just curious if we're the only ones that can't quote without a claims report, but it's good to know that others can't either.
Oh, actually, no, saying that, Health Shield Health Shield said they will consider it with the loss ratio. I'm just waiting for them to come back to me. They might decline. I don't know yet. Yeah. So they haven't insisted on a report yet. They've said the current renewal premium and the claims loss ratio should be adequate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, I think because of the claims pressures we've had last year, I think our underwriters are going to be a little bit more conservative. Well, I noticed it later in the year last year, and will probably continue into this year. I would imagine on switch business that our underwriters will be a little bit on the conservative side. I'd rather just be honest with that up front, purely because, as I said,
when you look at claims reports, and you're deciding whether you want to offer quotes, do your underwriters take into account how long they've been with the scheme? So, for example, this particular client is brand new to cash plan, so the novelty is still very much high. Everyone's claiming.
I'm sure it does come into calculation. I'm sure it does come into calculation. Particularly if you're looking at new business, once again, if it's over 10 grand, I can send it to underwriting to get maybe a more competitive price than our standard. And the key things they look for is they want a high male ratio. It's mainly because we are just not as good in admin as females are.
This is 75% female to male ratio.
Okay,
that's what the other thing Health Shield asked for. Yeah, that reminds me.
Yeah, so if you've got bit of knowledge for you. If you've got more men on the scheme, you'll get a cheaper rate. And that's mainly because there's two reasons. A, we're not as good on admin.
Right.
And two, women talk better. So, for example, Catherine, if you come into the office with a nice new pair of glasses, you'll get other women saying, "Oh, they're nice glasses. Where did you get those?" And then you'll say, "Oh, I got them at Vision Express. I got them through my Medicash." And then someone goes, "Oh, really?" Whereas if David comes in with a nice pair of glasses, I might go, "Oh, geez, here's a good-looking fellow. Those glasses look pretty good." But I'm not going to say it because that's just guys. We keep things to ourselves. So that's
Fair
the main
point.
reasons why, unfortunately, women claim more.
Yeah.
They're better at it. They're better at it, and they're better at sharing
Yeah.
knowledge. The other thing we
Well,
look
I
for
don't
is
hold out much hope with this quote from Health Shield then, from what you're saying.
the other things cash plan providers will look for is average age. Obviously, the younger, the better. And then the last one is obviously where they are, because if it's based, although cash plans are not postcode priced, if we're looking at bespoke pricing, that will come into effect. So if you come to me with a group that's based in Bolton, that's going to be cheaper than one that's based in central London, for example. And one that's multi-site is even better.
This
Yeah,
one's Newcastle, mostly female, and average age is about 43.
Okay.
So
Well,
I'm
the
not,
Newcastle part
and
is all right.
110 claims loss ratios. I don't know. Maybe, maybe they'll quote. Maybe they won't.
Multi-site also helps, and that goes back
Okay.
to the staff discussing factor. So if you've got multi-site firms or everyone based at home, that also helps.
Perfect. Has anybody got any other questions? Any feedback for Laurie? Any thoughts around him providing support on the corporate large schemes?
No, what's
Tom's got a
more
cat
interesting? Yeah, Tom,
Yeah.
what's your cat's name? It's gorgeous.
Terrible.
Yeah, it's Martha. She quite likes watching the screen and looking at everyone moving around.
Oh, bless.
Cute.
That's lovely. There you go, Laurie. Some inspiration of when you
Yeah,
want
I
to buy a
know.
cat.
Well,
Yeah.
I swear I'm allergic. I was gutted. I can't believe I paid £40 to be kicked in the stomach. I was like,
Laurie, just one quick one. I've got an existing Medicash scheme we spoke about in the past. Is it you that would help restructure this renewal?
yeah. Well, I can help with the renewal team. I can be your conduit with the renewal team.
Well,
Yeah, that's
all
fine.
right, I'll get in touch separately. Thanks, mate.
No worries.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you for your time, Laurie. Really appreciate that.
Pleasure all. Good to see you all again.
Yeah, perfect. And talking about health cash plans, I mentioned at the last coffee morning session that we did in December that we were working on a demands and needs letter for health cash plans. That's all been signed off now, and it's been uploaded onto the website. I'll just quickly show you where that is sitting. Just bear with me a second. Can everybody see that? Whoa, wrong one. Can everybody see my screen? Oh, can't hear anybody now.
Yes, yes.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So if you go under process and documents, bear with me, my internet is a little bit slow today. And if you click on documents, it's sitting here under the demands and needs letter now. Okay, so please check it out, have a look at it. I know David asked a question about a particular area section in the letter and whether that needs to be included or can it be removed or amended. I'm just waiting for Nick Crombie to come back to me with some feedback. As soon as he's come back to me, I'll kind of relay all that information onto you guys as well. And then we have added another page onto the PMI hub. So I just wanted to show you guys where that sits as well. So if you go back to the PMI hub, you'll notice there's a new tab there now called ongoing development. And this is all based on your lot's feedback when we initially started the PMI coffee morning sessions. But what we've done now is we've got all the latest literature material from the providers, even the presentations that they carry out during the PMI coffee morning sessions. And we are now uploading them all onto here. Okay, so each time we have a session, I send it over to marketing, and marketing then uploads all the latest material on here. We will constantly keep an eye on this and make sure that it is updated regularly. Okay, so there's no outdated information on here. And if you are unable to attend one of the coffee morning sessions, all the recorded coffee morning sessions can be found by clicking on here. So any feedback on that? Any thoughts? Is there anything else that you guys would like to see on here or added on here?
Can I ask a
That's
question,
really
please?
useful.
Yeah, perfect. Yes, please do ask.
Okay. When loading business onto the key,
yes.
Obviously there's a process and a system that you follow, etc., which is great. But when it comes to loading a cash plan on the key,
yeah,
there's nothing to tick, so you have to tick other. So you tick other, and therefore because you've ticked other, because it's not PMI, it's not whole of life, it's not whatever the case may be, there's no, should we say,
option for it.
Well, because there's not an option for it, once you've loaded it on the, am I explaining this correctly? Once you've loaded it on the key, because it's not, cash plan isn't an option, there's no set requirement of things you need to load for that specific product. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And I've got lots and lots and lots of group cash plans.
Okay. That's fine.
John, my preference, to be fair, would be to, rather than put other, put PMI, because it's more applicable to the PMI than it is to other, which is just anything. That's just the general bucket, so like nothing in the key. So with cash plans, if you put the key, if you put PMI, it then asks you for the information for PMI, which is more relevant.
So we've got to get 3 quotations from 3 cash plan providers, have we?
You should be doing that. Yeah. Anyway. You still need to demonstrate that you've gone to essentially what is whole of market. You still, even though cash plans aren't regulated, we are regulated. So we should follow a regulated process, which is we're whole of market. So you should be looking at the whole of the market.
Okay, so moving forward, I'll put down a cash plan product as a PMI product, even though it's not.
Even though it's not. Obviously, we've got some exciting news which should be rolling out in the next couple of months, which we'll go through then. But as it sits today, just put it as PMI, and then it follows that process, and it's more it's easier for you to know what your next steps are.
So we're getting a dedicated PMI key then, yeah?
Do you know what I've said? We'll just sack off the key completely.
Christmas is just gone.
Please don't.
God, we're glad Wayne. If Wayne was on here, he'd be having kittens by now.
Do you know what? I know, and I was just like waiting for you to mention the key. So I just the key comes up, and I'm like, oh.
Look, at the end of the day, it works, does it? At the end of the day, the key works for me. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. It's just for compliance reasons anyway, isn't it? And so I get paid. That's all I use it for. I don't use it for everything else, but
maybe use it.
It's a secure filing cabinet that we've got that keeps everything all in nice and tight and tidy and neat. If you want to pull off a report for your renewals, it can do that.
Maybe it can stop him getting an old man's jumper at the age of 35.
52, you cheeky git.
You know what? I was just like thinking then. I was like, John Legg is. Oh God, sorry. Okay, let's stop. But for right now, for the cash plan, just put in PMI, and then in the description, if you want to put cash plan, so you can see the differences between the two products. That's a really easy way of clearly being able to differentiate between the two.
Okay, I've always just ticked other, you see. So
yeah. The compliance managers know other as well is an option for cash plan, so we know that they've got the two. But if you want it for ease sake, so you know which ones to tick, the PMI one is the process that we follow.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay. Just a quick question. With dentists going private now, and there being less and less NHS dental practices available, do you find there's more of a need, more of a demand for health cash plans out there? People asking for more dental cover, and
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
Lovely. Okay, that's great. That's what I wanted to know. We've got Health Shield and April International attending next month's session. So if anybody's got anything in particular that you want them to cover, or you've got any questions beforehand, please let me know and I'll speak to them. Catherine, I'm still working on, when we spoke, I think it was in October, about the PMI forum, about advisors using it a little more. So we are working on that. I just wanted to let you know. So marketing and I. That's all right. We're still working on that, so we'll encourage that as much as we can. We've got the NTE event happening in March as well, on the 7th of March. So if you haven't registered, please get registering, and it's going to be a fab day. So we're looking forward to that.
And it's the only one as well. So we're just doing the one this year.
Perfect. Okay, that's fine. And don't forget to record your CPD hours, please. And I think that's about it. Has anybody got anything else to add? Anything else to ask? Any feedback?
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
With respect to renewals on the cash plan, the premium doesn't usually change. So the advice, the premium's just based on the employees that are covered. If you can't get an MI report from BUPA or Health Shield, how can you get an alternative quote? Surely you should just auto renew if the client's happy.
The premiums do change. That's the problem.
But that's based on claims, and they're not going to get another alternative quote if the claims are high.
Yeah, I get.
Like if they want to renew, they renew. If they're unhappy with the provider, they'll cancel, and then we'll have to search for an alternative. I can't see why you should have to follow the free quote system if it's impossible to get a quote without an MI report.
Maybe we can bring that up with the compliance officer, Michael, after the meeting. I'll speak to your compliance officer and ask them to get in touch with you. And maybe we could, if it's something that
Catherine spent the last 20 minutes talking about not being able to get a renewal quote. You know what I mean? So
no, he's absolutely right. It is. I'm just. It's basically a box ticking exercise, because I need an email to say we're declining to quote, which is a big fat waste of my time and a big fat waste of their time. But I know that if I don't do it, I'm going to be told, why haven't you gone to market, and why have you only gone to one? So I agree, but it's just one of those processes I'm following to tick a box, basically.
Okay.
Just my thought on it, but
yeah.
Okay.
Is it not an option in that respect, though, to just follow the non-advised renewal with the same provider? Could you not just follow that process there?
Only if the client doesn't want to review.
Well, there's two options for that. There's the client doesn't want to review, or the client can't. You can't give the client a review.
Oh yeah.
So you could follow that route and just do a letter that says we're unable to do a market review because of X.
It would be
Due to
useful
high
to have a
claims,
little,
whatever.
Yeah, it'll be useful to have a little crib sheet to know who asks for the MI and who will give it and who won't. So at least we can back up from a compliance point of view. I haven't gone to whoever, I haven't gone to Medicash because I know they need a claims report, and this person's with Simply Health and they won't give a claims report, so that we at least have something to back it up from compliance, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, we can have a look into it, Catherine. We'll have a look. I'll speak to compliance. Okay.
But in the meantime, I would just follow the non-advised renewal with the same provider due to being unable to quote because you can't get the because of high claims loss ratios, or high claims. So I would just use those, because this is the thing with the process. If you follow the process, like take a step back for a minute and think like logically, not compliance obviously, but like think logically, can I do it? Is it possible? Almost that thing of, am I doing it just to get a tick box? Think about, why would you have a complaint? What complaint could potentially come in? If there isn't going to be one because you can't switch them, because you can't look at moving them, because you can't get the information, it's almost follow that route. Like trust you guys, trust that you've been doing this long enough to know that it's not possible. And that's the reason why.
It's still frustrating that it's not possible though, because they all want the information, but they won't dish it out. So it doesn't work, does it?
I've taken it away to be able to try and get it to see if there's anything that we can do. As I said, like from a network point of view, to try and.
I think there's a bit of a TCF issue there, isn't there? Really.
You're right to talk, yeah?
But
Absolutely.
the other side of it is if they've left Health Shield because Health Shield have doubled the premium, they hardly want to go back at the next renewal to Health Shield.
Oh, that's me. Sorry, I missed that.
Someone's on the phone. Can they mute themselves? Is it yourself, Amy? Sorry. Sorry, say that again, Michael.
If someone's left Health Shield because Health Shield doubled the premium last year, they're hardly going to want to go back to Health Shield next year.
Yeah.
So why would you want to get a quote from Health Shield?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. We'll have a look into it. Yeah.
I was going to say, yeah, like Bipin said, we'll have a look into it. We'll see what we can do. We'll try and mitigate some of the kind of tick boxing on a recorded call. Yeah, so try and mitigate some of that. Try and get through some of those bits, and see if there's anything we can do to streamline that process. Obviously, we've started off now, so we've got that suitability letter that's a demands and needs letter, which is a standardized one now. We're obviously working on that process to try and ease it out for you, and we'll start including that as part of it.
But thanks, guys. I need to go too. So cheers.
Perfect, brilliant. Thank you for your time today. Really appreciate it.
It was nice to see everybody.
I know it was after in the new year. It's lovely. Yeah. So any feedback, anything, please let me know. I'll email you all the links shortly as well, so you've got access to what I've just shown you. And then anything for Health Shield or April International, let me know beforehand, and I will ask them to cover it. Brilliant. Thank you.
Bipin,
Yes.
could I have Laurie's email address if you get a second?
Yeah, no problem.
Thank
I'll
you
email
so
that over
much.
to you. All right, thank you. All right,
Thank you.
take care.
Take care.
Have a good
Bye.
day. Bye.
Hi, Della, as well. Your face just come up on my screen.
Thank you.
I use the iPad as a computer today. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.